Board. Hi guys, welcome to the Team on the Run call. On Monday, March 26th, we have the Central Regional Sales Manager. Am I right, Joe?
Yep, that's correct.
Joe Cardon, and Joe lives in Utah with his wife and two beautiful kiddos, and he is an avid cyclist and outdoorsman and adventurer, and he's got a dog, and he's pretty much just awesome. I hope I covered it all. He's awesome. And I had the privilege of having Joe come to Super Saturday in Wisconsin here to speak at our event, and he just has so much passion and so much insight, and he's given me a lot of one-on-one coaching and helping me out, and so I know he has a lot of knowledge to share with all of you, so I wanted to just welcome him. Thank you, Joe, for joining us.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. It was wonderful to be there with you in Wisconsin, and it's wonderful to be with you guys now. I appreciate you having me here, and I appreciate you guys doing this at a different time. Thank you so much for being willing to work with me on that. Well, I just wanted to let you guys know what I do. As Jessica said, I work in the Central region as the regional manager there, and I support the 3 through 8 star, lifetime 3 through 8 star coaches there. And my goal really, and my goal here on this call is to really help you hit your goals as a coach. That's really what my job is. I help mentor and I help work with coaches to help them achieve your goals and what you really want. So the first thing I want to do today on this call, having just said what I said, I want you guys to think in your mind, what do you really want through coaching? Okay. So I want you guys to think about that for a second as we're talking here, and vividly imagine, what is it like if you had a magic wand you could wave over your business and achieve a specific thing, what would that be? Okay, I was listening to some personal development. I drove this weekend from Denver or was it 2 days ago, from Denver to Salt Lake. And on the way, I was listening to Oprah's Super Soul podcast. If you guys haven't listened to her Super Soul podcast, it is amazing. And she was talking to a speaker, and her name was Gretchen. She's a PD author. I can't remember her last name. She was talking about what it takes to be happy. I think all of you on this call are here because you want to live a happier life, right? People always, they know they want to be happy. They know they want to be successful. I think a lot of times they know they want to make more money or they want more freedom. But what I want you guys to do is I want you guys to write down what it is that you actually want. And here are the two kickers. The first thing it's got to be specific, right? You can't just say, hey, I want to be happier or I want to make more money. It's got to be specific, exactly what you want. And then the other kicker that it's got to be is it's got to be something that you're willing to sacrifice for, right? Because I think a lot of times we all would like to be more successful. We all would like to be happier. We all would like to make more money. But sometimes we're not willing to do what it takes to make that happen, okay? So whatever it is, you don't have to set your specific goal and say, hey, I want to be elite, or I want to be a 10-star, or I want to do X, Y, Z. Like, you set the goals around what you personally want, not necessarily what you feel like that I need to hear or what Jessica needs to hear. Set the goals for what you truly want, okay? So once you have, listed those things out and you know exactly what it is you want, I want you to put that someplace where you can see it. But more important than that, I want you guys to share that with Jessica. Share that with her, and then share that with somebody that's maybe a success partner of yours, or maybe somebody who you know is driving for the same thing, okay? Goals are so much more important, and this is totally, statistically true. If you write it down, and if you verbalize it or vocalize that to another person, and you've shared it with another individual, your propensity of hitting that goal is significantly higher, okay? So know what you want, be specific, and then write it down and share it, and make sure you're willing to sacrifice for that thing, okay? So for the sake of this call, I guess the way that we framed up this call today is this call is going to be a call that's going to help you hit your coaching goals, right? And ideally, what I'd like to have this call do is have it be something that does help you hit your coaching goals, but also your goals that you have for your life. Whether that's spending more time with your family, or having more freedom, or having the ability to do things like travel, or just do what you really want to live the life you really want, okay? So what I have found through coaching is more than likely some of the things that you've written down on your piece of paper for your goals, for your coaching goals, probably have something to do with more freedom of time. It probably has something to do with revenue. It probably has something to do with rank. It probably has something to do with helping more people. Recognition is another one that a lot of people drive for. So I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about how to achieve some of those things in your business. So first, it's important to quantify what it is you really want. And then after that, what I want you guys to do is align your daily actions with making those things happen, okay? And what I want you guys to internalize, if there's one thing that you could pull from this call today, it would be that you guys are completely and utterly capable of achieving these things, okay? You need to believe that, and you need to own it, all right? All of you are talented people. All of you are special individuals who can do incredible things, but you all also have these emotional anchors that weigh you down, that keep you from moving forward because your beliefs aren't there, okay? I'm here to tell you that I've worked with coach after coach after coach after coach who've cut those anchors off of their mindset, and it's allowed them to rise to incredible levels. I'm going to paint a little picture for you guys right now. I'm a big analogy guy, so I'm sorry if I'm overdoing with the analogies, but think of an airplane, okay? An airplane that's just sitting there on the tarmac. When it's just sitting there and it's not moving in a particular direction, the forces that are keeping that airplane down are outweighing the forces that pull the airplane up, okay? But once it's headed in a specific direction and it continues to build momentum, moment after moment after moment, some incredible things happen. The principles of physics that pull the airplane up outweigh the principles of physics that pull the airplane down. Right now on this call, when you have identified what it is that you want to achieve, you're giving yourself direction, okay? You're giving yourself direction. So first, what I want you guys to do is I want you guys to identify that direction, and then I want you guys to actually I hope that this call can really help you have the momentum, the emotional momentum to get habits formed, okay? So one thing that I've noticed is in the beginning, it's that emotional excitement that can start the activities that you need to do to get you where you're wanting to go. But it's actually the habit itself that will keep you moving, right? So in the beginning, it's like, holy crap, I got to start working out, or holy crap, I've got to start doing like my meal preps. And in the beginning, that might seem like an incredible hurdle that you have to overcome, right? But once you start and you've done it for 2 weeks, all of a sudden it's like, this is just my life. This is just what I do, right? So in the end, what I want this call to help you get that emotional jumpstart that you need to continue moving forward. And as you continue moving forward with these actions, what pulls you up, that momentum you build, just like that airplane, what's pulling you up will outweigh what's pulling you down. But what you need to give yourself is some emotional runway, right? I think a lot of times you've probably seen this with yourself or with your challengers that, people want results now, right? Hey, I worked out today. I want to be 5 pounds lighter, but we all know that it's not that way, right? You need to give yourself some time. You need to give yourself some runway when you're putting in the right actions. And as you do those things on a daily basis, you'll get the results you're really looking for, right? So let's break down how to achieve some of these things, right? So first of all, one thing that I want you guys to understand and internalize and execute on in your business is that in order for your business to truly move forward, there needs to be duplication happening, right? What that means is you need to help other people get great, physical fitness results, but you also need to recruit working coaches, right? So you recruit working coaches when I say working coaches, what I mean is they're also going out there and helping people get great, results. They're also going out there and recruiting other people themselves, right? So as that happens, what's really happening underneath you is if you want to help more people, you're going to help significantly more people if you're creating an army of life changers underneath you, right? That are going out there and influencing other people independent of your own actions, okay? As that happens, as they're helping more people and they're changing more lives, that all rolls up through you. Like you're the tip of the spear. You are the general of that army that's going out there and changing lives. And the more lives that are changed, the more income you're going to make, okay? So what's going to happen, and something I want you guys to become very, very familiar with, is something that's called team cycle bonuses. You've probably all heard of them. But in the beginning, what will happen is you're functioning mostly off of retail commissions in the very beginning. But as you get that duplication working for you, you're recruiting, challengers, yes, but also active working coaches as well. And as that happens, your TV is going to grow, your team volume is going to grow. And as your team volume grows, your commissions will grow. Your biggest pipeline for income will happen through team cycle bonuses. So if you don't currently understand them, I'm going to challenge you guys to go onto YouTube and watch how they work. I think it's Michael Neiman that did a very easy, fundamental video of how team cycle bonuses work. But moving forward, if income is part of the equation of success for you, if that's going to offer the freedoms that you need in your life, you need to understand the rules of the game. If you want to win at Beachbody Coaching, and if you want to win through increasing your revenue, you have to know the rules of the game. I mean, how could you expect to win a game if you don't know the rules? So first of all, get that done. Make sure that you understand team cycle bonuses. Then what I'm going to challenge you guys to do as well is we need to get your invites to coaching up. If there's one thing that I see that happens more often than not, what happens is people will say, Joe, I'm really struggling with coaching or with recruiting active coaches. My first question for them is, okay, talk to me about how many invites you're doing for coaching every week. And almost always that number of invites they're doing to coaching is very, very small, very minimal. And so it's a pretty, it sounds overly simple, but honestly, if you up the amount of conversations that you have about coaching, you up the amount of invites and follow-ups you do about being a Beachbody coach, I promise you, you're going to see more people joining your team. You're giving yourself a specific direction, and as you continue to gain momentum in that direction, your invites will take off, and you're going to see, a lot of new coaches joining your team. Okay, so that leads me to the next point, which is rank advancement. If you are recruiting new coaches and they're active coaches, right, and you work with these people and you give them the tools they need to move forward, what's going to happen is they're going to rank advance as well. They're going to recruit more coaches. And honestly, guys, that volume all just rolls up to you. So that's going to help your income, but that's also going to help you hit your rank advancement goals. It's important to know, like, the one thing that I want you guys to know is that, one, Diamond is awesome, but I want that to be a stepping stone for you guys. You guys are so much more capable than just living at the Diamond level. Your dreams and your actions that you want to occur, what you wrote down as far as your goals, will more than likely not occur just by being Diamond, okay? When you're going to see more of those things happening, team cycle bonuses, quarterly bonuses, income pipeline opening up, the recognition, all those other types of things, more of those things will start happening at the 2-star level, okay? At 2-star, you get to open up your second CVC, which can really be a game changer for your team cycle bonuses, for the income that you're bringing in. You get the quarterly bonus. You get more corporate involvement. You get to qualify for more things. You're that much closer to Premier. So what I want you guys to do is, if you're going to let your mind go of what you're really wanting to achieve, it's going to be past Diamond. It's going to be past 2-star even. But if you're not quite at 2-star, I would challenge you guys to put that on, your goal list for this year. Now, whether you're going to be doing it sooner than later, I don't know. I know many of you could make it happen if you really put your nose to the grindstone. And if it's not by then, don't feel like you're a failure. Just know that you're going to make it happen later. Okay, so again, it's important for your
Could somebody
team.
grab me a phone charger? Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay.
Yeah,
It's
unmuted.
important, it's important for your team to be actively recruiting active coaches as well, right? So again, challenge them to increase their amount of invites, the amount of conversations, the amount of follow-ups they're doing. I would like to see for you and your teams 50% of your Success Club points coming from working coaches. Now, if it's not quite 50%, let's say you hit SE10 and 6 came from customers and 4 came from new coaches that month, that's totally fine. But I want that to be your goal that you're striving for, is 50% of your SC points coming from new working coaches, okay? So as that happens, your rank will go up and your income will also increase. You have to look at yourself as the general of an army of people who are going out there and changing lives. And in order for an army to be very effective at what it does, it can't just have a general that's commanding everybody, right? That's going to be chaos. You need to have the general, and then you need to have captains, and you need to have lieutenants, and you need to have colonels, and you need to have all these other things, and people who are in charge of their own, units and troops. And if that's the case, your army is going to be super mobile. It's going to be super effective. It's going to be great at fighting this trend of ending obesity and helping people live more healthy and fulfilling lives. But you need to create those officers underneath you in your own little army of people who are going out there and changing people's lives. So that will happen as they strive to bring on new coaches as well. That, what will happen is as you do that, income, recognition, revenue, all those things will begin to fall in place. So here's the next thing that I'm going to ask you guys to do. So as far as goals are concerned, I like to break them up into 2 different categories. One category is what I like to call action-oriented goals, right? So action-oriented goal is basically the engine that allows your result-oriented goals to happen. So for example, I could say, hey, I want to lose 15 pounds by summer, so I'm lean and mean for my next cycling race, right? That's a great goal for me to have. I need to have result-oriented goals. But in order for that result-oriented goal to happen, I have to have action-oriented goals, right? Action-oriented goals would be like, this is what I'm going to eat. This is when I'm going to eat it. This is when I'm going to meal prep. These are the exercises I'm going to do. These are the people that I'm going to check in with on a daily basis, right? So there's something that has been really effective that I've seen. Kelsey Shackley just shared this with me this week, and I want to share it with you guys. Once you've identified what your result-oriented goals are, that's kind of what I asked you about earlier, right? What is it you really want in your life? If you could wave a magic wand over your business, what would happen, right? Now, once you've identified what those things are, then I want you to identify what actions in your life will align you with making that happen. Because sometimes when I talk with coaches, they'll be like, Joe, I want to be a 10-star coach this year. And they'll be like a 2-star coach. And I'll be like, okay, well, what are you doing on a daily basis? How many coaches are you recruiting on every month? And they'll be like, I'm recruiting 2 coaches a month. On a daily basis, I do 3 invites. And I'm like, well, if you're diamond now, by the end of the year, your goals just aren't in alignment. Your actions just aren't in alignment with your goals, right? So what I need you guys to do is identify what your daily actions are going to be. So Kelsey shared this with me. She basically said, Joe, Kelsey has twins, and she's got 3 kids total. And she was like, I realized I had to be much more intentional with the time I had available to coach. I had to increase my level of urgency with what I wanted to achieve. So what she decided to do, and this isn't rocket science, you've probably heard this from other people before, but she actually executed on it, okay? So there's a difference between common knowledge and common practice. And what I want, again, to challenge you guys to do is hopefully this call can inspire you to believe I can do amazing things. And this is what I'm going to do to start the habits that I need to do to align my actions with my goals, okay? So she would go through and she would say, okay, I'm gonna do a weekly game plan. So on every Saturday or Sunday, she'll sit down with her husband and she says, okay, this is what I want to achieve Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. She actually writes down what it is she wants to achieve or accomplish that day or focus on each day and how much time she's going to allot to each one of those things. Okay. And when she started implementing this, she went from like SC16 on an average basis every month to SE60, right? That might seem like pie in the sky or kind of crazy or maybe something that's not achievable for you guys, but I promise you, all of you have incredible potential. We just need to harness that potential into a specific direction that will allow you to achieve the results you're really looking for, okay? So on a daily basis, this is the next thing I want you guys to do. So write down what you want to achieve, obviously, and share that with Jessica. But then what I want you to do on a daily basis, or at the beginning of each week, or I guess end of each week, Saturday or Sunday, send to Jessica what you're going to do each day of the week. Write it down. Say, Jessica, on Monday I want to do X, Y, Z, and here's when I'm going to do it. On Tuesday I want to do X, Y, Z, here's when I'm going to do it. And break that up and be intentional about what you need to achieve. What I can promise you guys is there are actions that are much, much more important than others. So you've probably heard coaches talk about staying in phase one, okay? That's so, so crucial. It's easy, very easy to focus on your team, to focus on creating images, to focus on doing all the fun stuff you want to do in the business, what I call fluffy stuff, and to run away from the meat and potatoes of what you should be working on. I'm going to use another analogy on you guys, and I hope that this helps you, but think of your business as if it were a tree, okay? And in a tree, there's different components to the tree, right? So at the beginning, you start with the roots. And the roots will form and it will, pull nutrients from the ground, all that stuff. And then as the roots are healthy, the tree will begin to grow and you'll form branches. The branches, if they're healthy, eventually they're going to produce fruit, right? So in your business, recruiting, bringing on new challengers and new coaches are your roots, okay? As your roots are healthy, you'll form leaders, active working coaches underneath you. Those active working coaches are your branches. And those branches will produce fruit. And that fruit is income. That fruit is freedom. That fruit is recognition. It's rank advancement. It's a lead. It's all those, cool, sexy things that everybody loves, right? And it's so, so tempting and easy to just focus on the branches and the fruit. The problem is that's defense, ladies. If you focus solely on defense, how many points are you going to score? You're not going to score any, right? Let's say you focus only on the branches and the fruits, and your roots are dead. What will happen to the tree eventually? Your tree will wither and it will die, okay? So you need to have super healthy, vibrant roots of your business, your recruiting, your challenger groups, all those things need to be revved up big time. And if they are, your pipeline for leaders will grow, your pipeline for getting the fruit of your business, the rank advancement, the recognition, all of that stuff will come to place, right? It will come to pass. But you have to focus on recruiting. What I mean by phase one is you need to be talking to more people, having more conversations, doing more invites to challenger groups, doing more invites, especially this part, doing more invites to coaching, doing more follow-ups, building relationships. That's phase one. You need to build that into your daily action plan, okay? Now, it doesn't have to be super complex. Write it down on how much time you're going to spend on each of those things. I'm going to spend 15 minutes on Tuesday on inviting to coaching. I'm going to spend 15 minutes on Tuesday to invite to customers, to my challenge group. I'm going to spend 20 minutes following up. I'm going to spend 30 minutes having new conversations, right? So write those things up, and when you're going to be doing them, send it over to Jessica. So what she can do is she can kind of weigh that out and say, yes, this is in alignment with this, right? But sometimes people are, like I said, they'll say they want to do these, rock star, amazing, crazy, awesome things, but their actions are here. We need to line them up and make sure that the direction you're headed is exactly where you want to go in the long term. And what I can promise you guys is on a daily basis, if you start acting, let's say 5-star or elite is your goal. If you start acting like an elite coach acts on a daily basis, and the behaviors you put in every day are in alignment with what an elite coach does, you can only live like that so long before you inevitably become what you want to be, okay? It will inevitably happen. You will reach your destination, but you got to give yourself the runway and you got to put in the sacrifice. Yeah, I mean, at the beginning when I talked to you guys earlier about setting a goal that you're willing to sacrifice for, there's gonna be times when you're just like, oh, I do not want to do this. There's gonna be times when you don't want to sit down and do what you need to do. There's gonna be times when your kids are being crazy. There's gonna be times when you feel sick or you don't feel good or you've heard a ton of no's. And I promise you, that's where the habit's gonna come in. And you're gonna say, heck no, I've done this for a long time and there's no way I'm gonna stop now. I'm gonna show up every single day. I'm gonna make this happen. And as you head in that direction, and you surround yourself with other people who are moving in that same direction, your goals will take off. You'll definitely get to where you wanted to go. So guys, what I want to just close with, honestly, is I know that you guys can do it. Now, it is my job to help you guys hit your goals. What I will tell you, though, is that I've seen coaches who've done these things over and over and over again. And they're speaking on the wake-up call now. They're speaking at things like Summit. They're speaking at New Leadership Conference. They've hit things like Elite. They've increased their income by significant margins. But first, your mindset has to be there that you can do it. If you don't believe, honestly, that you can do it, if you haven't painted a vivid picture in your mind that you are able to achieve these things, you don't believe it, you won't do the work. When the sacrifice needs to happen, you won't, okay? So the last thing I want you guys to do is every morning you read those goals and you tell yourself that you can do it, okay? You write it down and you read them and you tell yourself, I've got this, I'm gonna make this happen. And it sounds a little hokey, I can tell you. Like, I wasn't this touchy-feely type guy, with goal type stuff like this until I've seen the power of making it happen. I'm going to share with you guys a very real representation of how I learned that. So you can't really see very well, but above those condos right there, there's a little hill, there's a little mountain in the background. And years ago, my wife and I would drive around on that hill and we would look at all the nice houses and we would say, someday we're going to live there. Someday that will be our neighborhood. And we just kept driving through that neighborhood with our kids. Every weekend we visualized and we told ourselves, we will live there someday, right? And years went by. Guess where we live right now? I live a mile and a half up the road on that hill. Now, it's not the nicest house on the planet, but what I can tell you is visualization works, okay? It truly works. And as you tell yourself that you can do something and you're willing to sacrifice for it and you show up every day and you align yourself with that, it will happen. I promise you guys, you can do it. So guys, that's what I have for you today. Jessica, we can turn it over to question and answer, or we can dive into things a little bit deeper, or we can wrap it up. I'll just turn the time back over to you.
No. Joe, that was awesome. Thank you. It was kind of a gut check for me on a few things. I don't know about anybody else, but do you guys have questions? I mean, we can pick his brain here.
I'm actually curious. Let's see how many of you guys would be willing to share what at the beginning of the call, what did you write down? Is anybody that's a brave, intrepid soul who would like to share what they wrote down? All right, Courtney, let's hear it.
Okay, so the first thing I wrote before you were talking about rank, but the very first thing I wrote was that what I actually want from coaching is that I want people to feel comfortable coming to me for help. So having an image or like having a representation for myself where people know, like, if they need help, that I'm the person that they can go to. And whether it's related to ending up doing Beachbody products or not, I just want to be that type of person. But then I also put that I want to be Diamond by Summit and 1 star by the end of the year, by the end of December. And that I want to work as a part-time occupational therapist. So I just had an interview for a PRN OT job. And so I'm going to get a taste of what it is to balance the two. But financially, I want to be able to do part-time for the two. I don't have a timeline on that one yet because my life is so unknown. But that's a goal.
Yes, I absolutely love it. Way to go, Courtney. I think that's fantastic. That's awesome. Anybody else? Anybody else want to be brave and share what you guys wrote down?
I can go.
All right, let's hear it, Carla.
So rank advancement isn't like a huge thing for me. For more, what I've been really struggling with is I am like a huge runner. Like I'm training for marathon number 5, and I just started teaching PIO live. So I'm really trying to figure out how to find my people, because I feel like I've had a lot of people that are like looking to lose a lot of weight, and that's great. But then I feel like I'm not as in depth with them because that's not the life I live. So trying to find a way to like really combine all of those and find, more of my niche people, because like I'm not getting working coaches or anything. And I think that's a big part of it, because I'm not finding the people that, are me. But then really financially more just wanting to be able to pay for, all of my business fees and supplements every month, and then have some extra money every month coming in from Beachbody too. Nothing extravagant at this point, like $100, $200 extra a month would be amazing for, my kids like sports and they're expensive. So it'd be nice to pay for their sports.
Yes.
So that's what I wrote down.
Good. I absolutely love that. I mean, I love that a lot of, what Courtney and you, Carla, have shared. A lot of that's how to better help people, right? And as you help people in a more effective way, you're going to achieve other things like these freedoms with your income and being able to pay for kids' sports and doing all those types of things. What I can promise you is that like those things will happen as those actions are in alignment with them, right? The tough part is honestly sometimes is finding the time of day when you can execute on these things, right? One of the things that I can recommend in terms of that is put a time of how much time you're spending on each of those actions, and then observe what your day is. Maybe even go over it with your husband or your fiance or boyfriend or even your kids and just say, okay, from this time to this time, I'm going to be working my business. From this time to this time, I'm using that as a power pocket, right? And you find the amount of time you're dedicating to that specific action, and then just create some urgency there for yourself. Say, okay, I've got 15 minutes to do this. And honestly, as you find those little power pockets to focus on the meat and potatoes actions that we talked about, paying for those kids' sports will oftentimes turn into something so much greater. I can tell you Julie Voris. I love telling Julie Voris's story. She was into fitness, right? So for you, Carla, this might be a big deal too, because think about finding the next Julie Voris. Julie loved fitness before getting introduced to Beachbody. And she wanted to pay for a set of Nikes that weren't in the budget for her. She didn't have the money for, right? So she really badly wanted these specific shoes, and she heard about the Beachbody opportunity to coach. She thought, I can help people hit their fitness goals, and I can earn my shoes, right? So Julie Voris is a superstar coach right now. She's a 15-star coach. She's been a member of the coach advisory board. She's hit elite now more times than anybody else in the network, save one person who's tied with her. She's done incredible things, and she's really provided an awesome life for her family because she wanted to earn some Nikes that she didn't have the money for, right, in the beginning. So that was her. And honestly, I want you guys to understand that you can be that next Julie Voris, right? And you can find the next Julie Voris as well. It's just a question of going out there and sharing with other people. And honestly, what's the beautiful thing about Beachbody is there's no reason at all for us to feel abashed or shy about what we do, because we change people's lives in an incredible way, both mentally, physically, financially, emotionally, all these different ways we can truly impact somebody's life. Like, I can't tell you how sad it makes me seeing women who won't take pictures with their kids, who don't feel confident in who they are, and and the moments that they're missing out on in their life because they're not comfortable in their own skin, right? But what I can tell you is we can change that for them. We can help them feel confident. We can help them hit their own goals and help them feel better about themselves, right? And our products work. That's the beautiful thing. Like, we don't have to, like, honestly, my sister-in-law works for It Works. And I'm like, no, it doesn't. It doesn't really work. It's just a wrap thingy, or I don't know what you're doing, but it doesn't work. But Beachbody does. Nothing works better than accountability, fitness, and nutrition. You put those things together, and it's a magical combination to get you real results. So honestly, guys, you're doing amazing things, and you can hit those goals. I promise you. Thanks for sharing them with me. Please write them down. Send them to Jessica. Then write down when you're going to be working on in your business and what you're going to be doing during those power pockets of time. As those actions align with your goals, give it some runway, and I can tell you, you will be able to achieve them as long as you've aligned them up properly. So that's what I got right now. Any other questions before we wrap up today? Jessica's girls are like the cutest girls on the planet, right? They're so well behaved, and they're so cute. They're so nice. Way to teach them how to rock it like a boss, Jessica. So
they're always in on the calls, like in and out.
I love it. I love it. They're watching Mom. They're taking notes. They're going to be like champs when they get older. That's great.
They are, for sure. Joe, thank you so much. And guys, that really truly do send me your goals that you want through coaching. I just think when I wrote down what I want and then started to analyze if I'm really doing the actions to align with that, I'm not. So I think that was a good gut check for me. So I just really appreciate you taking the time, Joe, out of your busy life. And ladies, I appreciate you taking the time at 6 o'clock at night when it's like crazy time to be here. So thank you.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for having me. Hope to see you guys soon.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.